Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Elisabetta, an Italian watercolor artist with a passion for art supplies. I'm very curious, and today we are diving into the Cobalt family. I have published a video a few days ago with an overview of the Cobalt family, and today we are swatching and understanding Cobalt Yellow. Let's dive in. Cobalt Yellow is the only cobalt color that presents some light fastness problems. It has some issues, and so many brands have a replacement. Today we are swatching Daniel Smith and Old Holland. They use the genuine PY40 cobalt pigment. Then we will swatch some Aureolin hues because many brands are introducing replacement for Aureolin with the same characteristics. And then, because the replacement, the most common, is PY150, we will swatch some transparent yellows that use this pigment so that we can compare with Aureolin hues. Let's start together. The first color we are swatching is aiuto, explosion. Let me put this in a pan. Okay, I managed to put some in a pan, and I have read that it's typical of PY40 that if it is not treated properly, it can explode. So what are the characteristics of PY40 and why some brands feel the urgency to replace it? Okay, let's say that PY40 is also called Aureolin or potassium cobalt nitrite, which gives the idea of the composition of this color. It's non-light fast, that's why, but it is very transparent. It's lightly staining, so it's not very staining, like all cobalt colors. It's light valued, a huge value range from matte tone to more diluted washes. Here you see I have managed to put it in a pan, so we'll add some here. And it is very intense, it's very pigmented. I think that like most cobalt colors, it has some dry shift, but you see that it's almost an ochre here, where it is more concentrated. And I think it's very beautiful color. Daniel Smith offers Aureolin in the genuine pigment. It gives rank of light fastness of 2, so it's fair, but always according to Handprint. That is my main source of information. I love that website. Just becomes gray or brownish after a few weeks of sunlight. So having said this, it's really a beautiful color, very, very transparent. And I bet that just like me, many of you work in a sketchbook, so light fastness is a choice. You need to decide if it is important for you or not. For me, it's not so important because I mainly work in a sketchbook. Of course, when I sometimes sell my sketches, which happens incredibly, I would never use this. So in my main palette, I don't keep colors that are not light fast. Then we have Old Holland. Old Holland is this very traditional Dutch brand. They have some very lovely colors. I have bought quite a few. I have published a review that I will put in the descriptions section, the link, but they have some gorgeous colors. And they also offer the PY40 genuine pigment. Now I've put a lot of paint here, but it's important for me that you see the difference between the concentrated pigment and the diluted pigment. Now I find this very beautiful. It's different from Daniel Smith. It's darker in mass tone. It's almost a greenish yellow ochre, but look how pretty it is. I like very much this Daniel Smith, and this is very different, but I think this one is very, very pretty. I don't know if you can see how transparent it is when washed down, and how beautiful is the difference between mass tone and the diluted wash. Let's go now to the first hue, which is PY151 by Schminke, and they call it Aureolin hue. Now, PY151 is called also it's difficult to say, benzimidazolone yellow, and it's very, very light fast. It is not as transparent as, you see, it's slightly more opaque, it's thicker. It doesn't have that beautiful, gorgeous undertone, brownish undertone that the genuine pigment has. Really nice, clean yellow. And it's very beautiful yellow, but I don't think it's a perfect replacement for Aureolin. Now Lukas. Lukas comes in these wonderful tubes at an exceptional price point. They're made in England. I have a whole review for Lukas also, but this is the first time I swatch a tube, and this is, wow, impressive. I think they are of the same company of Daleroni. That's why in Italy we have Lukas but not Daleroni. They belong to Fila company, which is an Italian group. They own Papers, Canson, Arche, and they think they make choices. We only find Aquafine, the student grade Daleroni, but not the professional range, which is a shame. I would be curious. So this is PY175, a different pigment. This is also very light fast. It's even lighter. The value is very light. I think this is called benzimidazolone lemon yellow, because it's a good alternative to cadmium lemon yellow. It's very light fast. It's quite transparent. It's very, very light valued, but there is not a big value difference between the concentrated paint here and the wash. In any case, it's cooler, it's light valued, it's really different. It's also nice yellow, it's very pretty, but once again, not the perfect replacement for PY40, I think. And then I have just arrived from Ukraine. Wow, I'm so happy. We have Aureoline. Now, I'm a bit confused because there are two different spellings. There is with an E and without an E. So if an English native speaker can help me about the pronunciation and why you can find with an E or without an E. I think that Aureoline is an adjective with an E, and Aureolin is a substantive without an E, but please do let me know because I'm in difficulty here. And this is PY150, which is the most common replacement for Aureolin, and I think it imitates very well the darker matte tone. Maybe I should have pre-wetted the paper, but I like to see how they behave without pre-wetting the paper. Okay. And you see how beautiful it is, this brownish undertone of PY50, which is called, it's Nickel Azo Yellow, this pigment. And you can find it also under the brand name of Transparent Yellow in many brands. But I think this Rosa Gallery Aureolin is absolutely wonderful. Rosa Gallery is a top artist, Ukrainian producer, if you don't know it. I have a review for this brand also. I'm in love with this brand. And I have bought it on Etsy from a seller based in Kiev. I will give you the link. It arrived in 2 weeks, so they're very nice. I'm so happy that I'm supporting Ukraine, buying Rosa Gallery. It's absolutely worth it because it's so beautiful. Look at how beautiful this is. And then we go to another replacement of Aureolin, which is Rembrandt. And this is the one that I have in my palette. And it's the first Aureolin I've had. It looks very green when it's squeezed in pens, but then it's different once you dilute it. And this is also very beautiful. I use it a lot. It is my Aureolin in my palette. Now I will dilute it. It becomes so clean once diluted, and the matte tone is really warm and so beautiful. I love this value range. I have added more here so that it's a fair comparison between Rosa Gallery and Rembrandt. Rembrandt is my go-to brand. Very good price point. It's European, so it's easy to find, and very reliable, nice colors. They even have some very exciting colors. And here we are. It's not as dark as Rosa Gallery. This is stronger, but still very, very nice. Then I have 3 examples of PY50 with different name. This is Transparent Yellow binder issue. So let me fix this and I'll be back. Fantastic. Okay, this is Maimeri, an Italian brand. I think they're also owned by Fila Group, the same of Dalia Roni. Now I think I remember so. And I have fixed with a toothpick, you see. And wow, it's very promising. Maimeri is a very nice, it's very fine professional brand. I know that a famous YouTuber, Jenna Rainey, has recently switched to Maimeri. For an Italian, it's a very natural choice because it's the most traditional brand here. It's the one that students use in school, for instance. And look at this. It's very comparable to these brands, and it's Transparent Yellow by Maimeri. By the way, it was very nice feeling to paint with this. It was very, very soft, very nice. Then I have Yellow Lake by Sennelier. Now, Sennelier is a love or hate brand, but for me, it's a love brand. I really think that Sennelier is very, very fine. It's very different from the other brands that I use. They don't have such an extensive range, but they were the brand used by impressionist painters like Toulouse-Lautrec or Monet, and that has a meaning for me, you know. And also I want to visit the Sennelier magasin in Paris. That would be really my dream. This is Yellow Lake. I know that Sennelier also offers Cobalt Yellow PY40, and I think they're the makers of the Jackson brand. So if you have a Jackson brand, that's probably manufactured by Sennelier. It's the same product. And I would be curious to try it, but that's too much of PY40, so I don't think I will buy it. You know, the Sennelier is made with honey, like most brands made with honey, like M. Graham, for instance. They often are a bit more sticky. Also, when you pour them in a pan, they don't dry as hard as a rock, but they stay soft and sticky, which I like. It's a property I don't mind at all. So this is the Sennelier. Can add more here when it's wet, but they're all beautiful. There are some pigments that are very different across brands, and some pigments, like for instance, Dioxazine Violet is very much the same across brands, and this PY50 is also very consistent across brands. Whereas I find the big difference between these two PY40, I would be curious to try more. If you have a PY40, maybe you can tell me if it is different or if it is comparable. But these are all very comparable. Rembrandt is maybe slightly weaker, but they're all very nice. And then I have, look at this, very much awaited, Winsor and Newton. Okay, this is Winsor and Newton. This small tube, how beautiful is Winsor and Newton. Makes you feel so professional. But my favorite tubes from a pure aesthetics point of view are M. Graham and Sennelier. Look at Sennelier. Sennelier is a wonderful tube. So traditional, so beautiful, so elegant. It's glamorous. C'est très chic. This PY50 transparent yellow by Winsor and Newton is really beautiful. It is transparent, but they're all very nice. I think that I repeat what I say. I don't see that many differences across brands. Maybe Rosa Gallery, once again, slightly difference, but I think that I'm in love with this PY50. Now I'm mixing my Daniel Smith Aureolin with some paints from Paul Rubens. I always use this set, this palette, for my mixes, so I have a comparable starting point. I'm starting with some emerald green. I have cats, so I might have some cat hair. Oh, very nice yellowish green. And this is emerald green, a very cool green. It's phthalo green, PG7. And look at the lovely greens that you can reach mixing with Aureolin. And remember that it's transparent, whereas most yellows are opaque. Now I will take a madder red, a cool red, good replacement for alizarin crimson. Remember that when concentrated, it has almost a brownish undertone, so this a very warm orange. It's a glowing orange, because the property of Aureolin, I think, is to make colors glow. Remember, because it's transparent, it's perfect for glazing also. Now we go to cobalt blue, cobalt and cobalt. Let's see. Now cobalt. This is cobalt. Lovely muted olive green. This is absolutely lovely. Look at the difference between the phthalo and the cobalt blue. This is wonderful, a wonderful olive muted green. Now I would like to try some dioxazine purple. Now, of course, it's brown. And it's perfect for shadows. If you have yellow objects like a lemon, for instance, and you want to add shadow, I think that this color is perfect for lemons. Maybe I will try some. And okay, my dog, Ciao, ciao, ciao. My dog is here. Fatti vedere. Eccoti. Let's now try some black. This combination should give a green. And it does, very muted green. It's almost acid, an acid green. It's a lovely experiment. And then I'll try some yellow ochre, why not? Not very interesting mix, they're too similar, but makes it more transparent, and it makes it glow, because basically this is what Cobalt Yellow does. It makes other colors glow and shine. Look at this, the light that it adds compared to pure yellow ochre. Now, last but not least, I would like to try some quinacridone violet, PV19. Goes from a warm red to a brick color, and it does granulate, surprisingly. Orange. Cadmium orange, my least favorite orange, but maybe if we combine it with Aureolin, it becomes more interesting. And it does, it becomes a warm orange, glowing, because I think it's a bit dull, cadmium orange. I don't like it. It's not so alive, it's a bit dull. And it's a lovely mix, this one. Okay, now we let this dry. Lovely mixes we have. And now I will sketch a lemon as an example of usage of Aureolin or Cobalt Yellow. I will use my old Holland Aureolin Cobalt Yellow, which is a genuine Cobalt Yellow. And I have squeezed it in this pan. And I will use this set from Old Holland, so we will have also a try of this set. And start. So I have used Aureolin as the only yellow in this lemon. I have added some sap green, some cobalt green, and some burnt sienna, and also some Baroque gold red. This one, which is my favorite color from Old Holland. I think that Old Holland has behaved quite well. The sap green is also very nice, and this Aureolin Cobalt Yellow is very versatile. It can be very transparent and luminous, and also can be very intense. Although non-lightfast is a very interesting color, Cobalt Yellow. I like the way it behaves in botanical sketches. Okay, now my paint is dry. I just remind you that these two are the only swatches of genuine Cobalt Yellow, by Daniel Smith and Old Holland. They're both very nice. Old Holland is a bit stronger. It has some stickiness. It's a bit shiny. Usual binder issue that I sometimes find with Old Holland, but the color is really nice. Daniel Smith is also very pretty, but doesn't have this brownish strong undertone that I really like in this Old Holland, but it's very, very nice also. The Schminke Aureolin Hue, I'm a fan of Schminke, but in this case I don't think it's a perfect match for Aureolin. It's a nice yellow, it's a medium transparent yellow, but it's not something that I'm really crazy about. Lukas 1862, the artist grade, is a nice lemon yellow, but once again, I wouldn't call this an Aureolin. It's not a perfect fit. Whereas the Rembrandt and Rosa Gallery versions are wonderful, especially the Rosa Gallery. Look at how beautiful this is. It makes your heart beat, actually. I have tried this lovely pigment PY150 in other 3 brands, and they're all very beautiful. So I would say that any brand you find with this pigment, you're on the safe side. And they're maybe even more beautiful than the genuine Aureolin pigment. I would like to try Sennelier. I don't have it. I know that one of my followers has Jackson's. I would like to know her opinion, but or his opinion. I think it's a woman. If you have Aureolin, what brand do you have? Have you got the Cobalt Yellow, the original one? I'm very curious. And very happy of these swatches today. I think it's a very interesting experiment. Also the mixes. Look at the glowing greens that you can mix with this Aureolin. I also find very interesting the mix with violet. Look at the color separation. It's so beautiful. You can really see this violet glow. I particularly like the mix with cobalt blue. And also if you have some colors that you're not a particular fan of, like this cadmium orange that I never use, I think that if you mix it with the Aureolin, it becomes more beautiful. And also it's a nice addition to yellow ochre, because it won't change the overall effect, because they're very similar, but it will make it more transparent. And once again, I'm using this word today, glowing, but I will absolutely glow. So to put it in a nutshell, Aureolin, especially in the PY150 hue, it's a must-have in a watercolor palette. Any brand you find with this pigment will do. And let me know if you have it, and if you use it, and if you like it. And that's all for now, and I will see you soon with another Cobalt video. And thank you very much for having watched the video, and if you liked it, don't hesitate to like and subscribe. Ciao ciao from Italy. See you soon. Ciao.